Good morning and welcome again back to the More Factor. Today we're going to talk about being fair. I'm Frederick Groth and I enjoy helping and coaching people to be the best that they can be by teaching life skills and success principles. So, today we're going to talk about being fair. What does fair mean? That is a great question. That is something that I think we need to look into. So, here we go. Here's the meaning to the character trait fair. It says honest, honorable, mild. Someone who is opposed to insidious and compulsory actions. In other words, you got to think about something first. To be able to accomplish a thing by looking at everyone's side, picking the path of least resistance, if you will. Now, I want to notice also the scripture verse, and I don't usually read these, but the scripture verse that goes with this character trait. And Jesus is teaching, and he says, let's see if we can put this into modern English here. It says, whatever you want men to do to you, do you even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. That is the true meaning of being fair. It is also the golden rule. How you want people to treat you, you treat them. So in talking about being fair, we're talking about being a true human being. Someone who is willing to set aside their agendas, someone who's willing to set aside their grand schemes, if you will, in order to bring everyone into harmony. By simply treating people with the respect that they want. If I want you to help me, if I want people to help me, then I will be willing to help people. See, there is a method of thought that goes way back to the Old Testament. And it's eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. If you treat me bad, I'm going to treat you bad. You treat me good, I'm going to treat you good. And that's backwards. That's not being fair. That's being, well, ignorant to the ways of how things really work. See, if you want people to show you mercy, you must first show them mercy. If you want people to be willing to help you, you must be first willing to help them. Being fair is a great and wonderful character trait, but it is not as easy as it sounds. Because being fair requires that we think before we act. And that is something that is difficult for most people on any given day. We live in such a compulsory, driven society when there's advertising and there's commercials and there's money in our pockets and we just have to get rid of that money. What is wrong with holding on to money? What is wrong with stopping and thinking and counting the cost before we make an action, a choice, a decision? Being fair entails many things. Number one, it requires us to be honest. Number two, it requires us to put aside compulsory actions. And number three, it requires that we look at every side of the box and determine which path will benefit everyone the most. See, being fair is not always being right. Being fair sometimes is you setting aside your rightness for what is better. And so this morning I challenge you. The next time you go to a store, challenge number 1, and you see an item on a shelf and you say, I want to buy that. Don't. Count the cost. Will it benefit you? Will it benefit your family? Will it benefit those that are your friends? And if you can't really say a full, honest yes to these things, leave it. It's not going to be a benefit to you. Number 2, challenge. The next time you have to make a life decision, and there's more than just you involved, don't make the decision until you've talked to the other person. If it involves your children, talk to your children before you say yes or no. If it involves your spouse, talk to your spouse before you say yes or no. If it involves anyone other than just yourself, make sure you get their side of the story before you make a decision. So, challenge 1, let's hold off the compulsory buying. Number 2, life decisions require more than one person's input. I read a scripture yesterday. In the multitude of many advisors, there is success. So, get some other input before you make a decision. Be fair. Treat other people with the respect and diligence that you want them to give to you. And it will change your life and outlook on life. Do it. I dare you. God bless. This is Fred Growth, and this has been another episode of The More Factor. And guess what we'll be doing tomorrow morning? Another character trait to challenge you and make you better.